As we sit here right now, former President Donald Trump is currently on trial in his criminal hush money case in New York. Aside from the former President Donald Trump, his former fixer Michael Cohen, another central character in this story is Stormy Daniels, who has been a household name since 2018. But for those viewers who might not remember the beginnings of this story, can you explain who Stormy Daniels is?
Sure. In some households, she's probably been well known for well before 2018. But she is the adult film actress and director and stripper who claims that she had an affair with Donald Trump back in 2011. And right at the stretch run of the 2016 campaign, she tried to, this is what the trial is about, sought a hush money payment on this about the affair from Donald Trump, and she was paid $130,000. Whether that payment is violated campaign finance laws is what the trial is about. But then the hush money didn't ended up not mattering. The whole story came out anyways.
During the trial, one of Trump's lawyers asked her if this story made her a lot of money. What was her response?
A very honest answer. She said, "It has also cost me a lot of money." There's all sorts of wild swings that we're seeing with her finances based on what's happened in the aftermath of her alleged affair with Trump.
So let's dive into it. In your latest piece for Forbes, you divide this story into 5 sections here. So let's start, obviously, at part 1. You call it selling the story. So can you describe this process for us of her selling the story?
Yeah, she hired an attorney to go around and negotiate with Donald Trump, with Michael Cohen on Trump's behalf, trying to get a payment for the hush money. They eventually got $130,000. I believe it took them a couple times to actually follow up on the payment to get it. But after paying her attorney and PR person, she ended up with about $96,000.
So I want to keep the tally that you wrote for the people at home. You wrote ballpark tally $100,000. So now let's move to part 2. You entitled Fame is Fortune. So this leads us to 2018 when the Wall Street Journal broke this story initially about the payout. How did she capitalize on this?
She went on a strip club tour, which was called, supposedly against her wishes, Make America Horny Again. And, we reported at the time that her booking fee had doubled and her appearances had tripled. But when we reached out to her attorney at the time, Michael Avenatti, and more on him later, he said she actually didn't make that much more money out of it. She only brought in about an additional $20,000 due to, more expensive security costs, really cut into the extra income that she was expecting.
So now for those keeping track at home, we are at $120,000. Part 3 is called courtroom costs. So this is what really tanks that cash pile here. Talk to us about those costs.
Yeah, she and Trump have sued each other, and she filed the first lawsuit, which was to get out of the NDA that she had signed, and Trump and Cohen agreed to that, but it's eventually. She ended up winning the case. Trump appealed. Trump lost the appeal, and he ended up owing her attorney's fees that totaled about a little bit less than $100,000. However, that was easily offset by the attorney's fees that she ended up owing him. Michael Avenatti sued Trump for defamation over Trump's response to a tweet regarding a sketch that Avenatti had posted. Daniels testified she thought this lawsuit was a bad idea. It was filed nevertheless. And similarly, she lost, appealed again. And each one of those 3 times, she ended up having to pick up Trump's court fees. And, Trump can afford pricier lawyers than she can. So his legal bill for that whole case ended up totaling $660,000. So her net on this was negative $560,000 that she owes Trump for his legal fees. Now, she has not paid a penny of this. She tweeted that out, I think it was a year or so ago, and she confirmed on the stand that she has not paid a penny on it. And Trump is currently going through legal proceedings in Florida trying to force her to pay up. The next hearing on that is later on this month of May.
And so this is when the working relationship between attorney Michael Avenatti as well as Stormy Daniels really comes to a head here. So talk about how Avenatti ultimately ripped her off.
Yeah, so this would be the next section when we talk about her book deal. She signed a book deal that came with an $800,000 advance from St. Martin's Press. Her agent took the standard 15%. And then Avenatti took the not standard $300,000, which she testified was, I believe it was actually in his court case, it came out that he had gone around her back and reached out to the publisher and had the publisher pay him directly. And so he took 300,000 of that. He ended up repaying her 150,000. But by the time he was arrested and charges of wire fraud and aggravated identity theft, he still owed her $149,000. As most people know, Avenatti is currently in prison. He's not expected to get out until 2035. He owes $11 million in restitution to a whole slew of clients. Daniels told me that she has not received a dime from him yet, and it seems that she's probably going to be waiting for quite some time to recoup that $149,000 that he swiped.